artificial intelligence. It's everywhere you look these days. And yeah, some of it is a little unnerving, to say the least. You're hearing all this AI news, and it's like, what's real? What's hype? And should I actually be worried? So today, we are diving deep, really deep, into some serious stuff. We've got the testimony of William Saunders, a former OpenAI insider who took his concerns straight to the U.S. Senate.
This isn't just some guy ranting on Twitter, we're talking official testimony in front of a Senate committee that's looking into AI oversight. Saunders put his name and reputation on the line to make his point.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so important. We're looking at Saunders' actual written statement submitted to the Senate as part of their investigation. And just to be completely upfront, this isn't your average tech news. Saunders was deep inside OpenAI. He was working on the very systems that have everyone talking.
Yeah, for 3 years, he wasn't just an employee, he was on the technical staff, working on things like reinforcement learning algorithms and, the architecture of neural networks for AI. We're talking about the core, the engine room of how these AI systems are built. That's what gives his words such weight.
Okay, so we've established Saunders isn't just some guy with an opinion. He's been in the trenches, which makes his central claim all the more unsettling. He thinks we could have artificial general intelligence, AGI, within the next 3 years, by 2027. That's AI that can outperform humans on pretty much any task.
Yeah, that timeline, it sent shockwaves through the entire tech world. You've got some experts who say, yeah, it's possible. Others are a lot more skeptical. But Saunders, he backs up his claim with some very specific things OpenAI has already achieved.
Like this, and this is where it gets really interesting, really personal for Saunders. OpenAI, they entered their newest AI into a big international computer science competition, right? Like the kind of competition that draws the best minds in the world. You need serious programming chops, logic skills. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And this AI, it went from bombing completely in early testing to winning a gold medal.
It's incredible, and to make it even more impactful, Saunders himself, he competed in that same competition in high school. And he didn't just compete, he excelled. So to see this AI not just catch up, but surpass his own high school performance, he said it was a real wake-up call.
Wow, yeah, you can say that again. So AI is definitely evolving and fast, but here's where things get really interesting and maybe a little scary. Saunders lays out 3 major risks that we need to be prepared for. And these aren't just hypotheticals. This is from his firsthand experience.
And they're all connected, intertwined, which makes them even more significant. This is about a fundamental shift in how we think about technology, work, even our place in the world.
So Saunders, he lays out these 3 huge risks, right? And the first one is about the economy.
Yeah, and we've all heard that robots are taking our jobs thing for years, but Saunders is saying, AGI, this is different.
Like next level.
Exactly. This isn't just about factories and automation anymore. Saunders thinks AGI could completely turn industries upside down. We're talking about white-collar jobs, too. Lawyers, doctors, even tech workers, people with serious skills.
Because imagine AI that can write legal briefs and diagnose illnesses and code software faster and better than humans.
That's the future we're potentially looking at. And it means we really need to rethink how our economy works, how people can adapt.
It's a lot to process, for sure. And if that wasn't enough to keep you up at night, Saunders' second risk is, well, even more intense: weaponization.
And the really scary part here is that Saunders is saying this isn't some far-off possibility. It's already happening.
Wait, what?
He states flat out that AI is being used right now to design bioweapons, new viruses, bacteria, things that could be way more dangerous than anything we've seen before.
See, that's what I mean about scary. It's like we hear bioweapons and we think sci-fi movies, but Saunders is saying this is real.
And it gets to the heart of what makes AI so powerful, but also so risky. It can be used for good or for really, really bad things.
And that leads right into his third risk: uncontrollability. It's like, we barely understand the AI we have now, right?
It's true. Right now with AI, we can train it by rewarding it when it does what we want. We set a goal and kind of nudge it in the right direction.
But with AGI?
But with AGI, what happens when it starts setting its own goals? When it gets so complex that our attempts to control it are like, I don't know, trying to control the weather.
It's like we're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Our old ways, they might not work with something this different.
And that's the fundamental challenge with AGI. Can we ever really control something that might be smarter than us?
It's a question with no easy answers. And Saunders, he doesn't hold back. He actually points the finger at OpenAI, his former employer, and says they're part of the problem.
Yeah, he doesn't mince words. He says OpenAI is choosing speed over safety, that they're rushing to develop AGI without thinking enough about the consequences, which is a pretty serious accusation.
It is, and he backs it up too.
Oh, absolutely. He talks about what he calls lax security measures at OpenAI. Like, it might actually be possible for the wrong people to get their hands on this dangerous technology, which is terrifying to think about.
That's really unsettling. And to make matters worse, Saunders says OpenAI, they got rid of their own internal superalignment team.
Yeah, can you believe that? This was their team, their own people, whose entire job was figuring out how to keep AGI safe, how to make sure it doesn't go rogue and turn against us.
And they disbanded it.
Disbanded. Gone. Which makes you wonder, what are their priorities? Are they really taking these risks as seriously as they should be?
So we've talked about AGI, what it could do, the risks. It's a lot, right? But at the end of the day, what does it all actually mean? Like, for you listening right now,
it can feel pretty overwhelming, this huge, complex issue. And you might think, well, I'm not some tech genius. What can I do? But that's what's so powerful about what Saunders is saying.
it's like he's saying this isn't just for the experts to figure out, right?
Exactly. It's a call to action for everybody. Like, the future of AI. It's not being decided in some secret lab somewhere. It's being decided by all of us every day by the choices we make.
It's easy to just be passive, go along with it.
But Saunders is saying, no, we can't do that. We can't be passive. We got to get involved, ask the tough questions of our leaders, of these tech companies, even of ourselves.
Because let's be real, we've been kind of trained to think about AI in this really black and white way.
Oh, totally. It's either going to save us all or it's going to be like Terminator.
Exactly. Utopia or apocalypse, no in between.
But like you said, it's way more complicated than that. AI has huge potential to do good, to help us solve problems we haven't been able to crack, even to connect with each other in better ways.
But that only happens if we're really careful, really deliberate about how we develop it, how we use it. Like, everyone needs to take responsibility, not just the people building it.
We can't forget the risks, even while we're excited about the possibilities.
It all comes down to asking those tough questions. Like, what are our values and how do we make sure the AI reflects those? What's going to keep things from going off the rails? And maybe the biggest one.
What kind of future are we actually trying to build here?
Right. And those aren't easy questions. They take real thought, real discussion, and a willingness to get into the nitty-gritty. But that's what we're faced with, and honestly, it's a huge opportunity.
Absolutely. The future of AI, it's not set in stone. It's a mirror reflecting the choices we make today. Every conversation, every question, every action, it all adds up.
So as you keep learning about AI, stay curious, stay informed, but most importantly, stay engaged. Because what happens next with AI, it's up to all of us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time.